Hello, we are live again, and this time I made early in the morning here in Japan. I just saw the earnings call of SpaceX. I saw that it went down. What is it? SpaceX is at the moment down. We can see here. Let me show you. Share screen. You can see share. You can see it is down almost 7%. This is SpaceX. AMD also went down. Tesla, you can see here. Okay, Tesla is also down, less down. SpaceX is 7% down. Do we want? Is this? Okay, I have to look. Oh, I have two mouses here. Okay, let's go back to this. So you saw that it spiked up to 130 and then it went down to now the lowest was what was it 115 or 140 now. So what does it mean? Also, other stocks went down. So does it mean that the analysts expected more, or didn't they understand the call? Now, if you look at the call, if you look questions, and if you throw it through Grok and make some information. In reality, they can be in a few quarters be positive, but probably this will not happen because they want to invest more in space. The shocking things in the call, what I was thinking was shocking, was that they will be humans boots on the moon in 2028, and before that they will put with Starship cargo on the moon. So that will mean it will be human grade in 2028 or in 2027 already Starship, and it means they will go also maybe already in 2027 to the moon and put stuff there. And I think that will be done with, if it's not humans, it has to be robots. So I think Optimus is also in production in 2027, I think. So I think they will use Optimus on the moon to build the bases or remote control those things, those robots on the moon to build a platform. I think the most important thing on the moon is to build a platform, a concrete regolith. You use the regolith to make a platform so that if you land the Starship, it will not make an enormous cloud. If it would land just on the regolith, so on the dust that is on the moon, it will catapult the dust into space. It will leave the moon and go into space. Now, you will, if there are 1,000 starships landing just on the dust on the moon, I think in 1 year you have a cloud around the moon with dust. So that is something you don't want. So you have to have a place like a stone platform, or in this case, I think they will make some concrete platform. Probably they need water, or they will find something. Maybe they cook the soil or whatever they do. They have to make an area where they can land the ship without pushing all the dust. Now, if they have that, the next time they can dump more robots, then they can dump more materials to build out the base. And then in 2028, when NASA wants to go to the moon, they all prepare something that NASA can use, a landing place or whatever. Then they will land themselves. Maybe, I don't think they will do that. They will be earlier as NASA already on the moon with humans. We don't know that. I think not. I think they will go. I think they will give NASA the premiere to land back on the moon together. If you see the strange things, like you see the Starship connected to the Orion, that is a small. Maybe I can look for a picture for this. It is almost humorous. If you look at Starship, Starship is the thing of SpaceX, and Orion is the SLS cabin that they tested, and there were the pilots was the Orion. That was the thing that was stuck, and the pilot, and so the Dragon had to save them. Of them. And to understand, we can show you here. Let me show here window. Let me look here. Share. Okay, here you see the Orion. This is the Orion. This is the Orion, and this is the. You can see this may be nice. Yeah, this is the Orion, and this is the spaceship. Question is, what is the lander, and what is the transporter? Yeah, just look at this picture. What do you think is the lander, and what is the thing that brings it to the moon? Now, what goes in orbit? The old the Apollo thing, Apollo, Apollo, that's Apollo 11 or something. Let's look here. You can see here, this is the Apollo. So here the lander, you can see, is the small thing. And in reality, only this thing that is above that comes back. This stays on the moon. And this is the thing that goes in orbit. And only after returning from the moon, only the nose cone will go back. This is also for cargo and for fuel, because you need fuel to push this whole thing to the moon. Now we look at the new thing. Here we see the thing you would expect. This is the thing that goes in orbit, and this lands on the moon, but it is not a lander. Yes, you understand it correct. This is the lander, and this is the thing that goes in orbit. Now, in reality, this thing is not needed. This thing can land by itself on the moon and can go to the moon itself, because it pushes everything to the moon. So this Orion thing is not needed. And if you look at the investment, the money that this thing costs and what this thing costs, look it up. This is maybe 10 times more expensive than this thing. So this is a little bit a joke. Yeah. So this is this already shows how advanced SpaceX is compared with the government space program. Of course, Bezos has also a blue lander, and other people have landers. Those are depending on their own push, the SLS system to push them to the moon, but they are behind. It means they already go maybe next year to the moon, yeah, with landers their own system. So this is not what I expected. So for moon, Starship, and also Gwen, and also Elon Musk said this year they launch, I think, every month a Starship, and then next year, and it can mean the end of the year, they will launch Starship every day. That doesn't mean that they will launch 365 Starships in 1 year. It means the cadence is that they can possibly launch every day a Starship at the end of 2027. Some people maybe misunderstand and thought, well, the 1st of January they launch every day. No, the ships are not ready. The financial guy, the CFO, said that they have the factories that they can build out the ships. And if it is a rapid return, it is possible. So the ships, the construction, the production of the Starships and boosters are already, the investment is already there, and they are building it out. Also, they said they will have 2 launches places at Florida, and they probably gonna expand at Boca Chica. So what I was afraid that they didn't have enough launching and launching and landing places, because there's only 2 or 3. They will probably expand more in Boca Chica, and they got an extra place in Florida. Until now, no speak about other countries where they can land or start. So I think all this will first start and will be done from America. So I think they have to buy more ground for Starship in Boca Chica. Also, if you look a little bit further for an interview with Shockwell, he was telling even for the fuel, they want to have their own, they're going to drill for oil or for gas themselves. So that means not only the ship will be reusable, and there's an enormous cost saving, but also the fuel they use, they will do themselves. And there's also, of course, saving of cost. And I think even if they're going to produce on Mars their own fuel, if they can do it on Mars with the air of Mars and combine it and make a fuel for the rocket, this same technology they can use at the starbase at Boca Chica and generate locally with the same system the fuel for Starship. So then it is all free. If they use solar panels to power it, because they only need electricity and the air, they can make the fuel for Starship. So if this, and they have to test it for Mars, so they can do it already on Earth, and then it will have already an advantage. And this same system, a different system, because they need to pull the stuff out of the dust from the moon to make the fuel. They will experiment that, and maybe they can use sand of Earth, and they can also produce fuel. So the fuel, so the spaceship is reusable. Maybe they have to a little bit tiles or what the heat shield they have to a little bit adjust, but the fuel will also be almost free for them or low cost. This is also again an enormous saving for every launch what it costs to put something in space. And if they have a cadence of once a day, this is 300. Let's do it. So they say 300 launches a year. Yeah, they can launch 60 satellites, and those are 20 times better. So you go to 60 times 300 times 20. That is an enormous amount. That's in the 100,000. Now I think 10,000, 1,500 satellites are launched with Falcon 9. So this they will overtake so easily. They say one launch of Starship is the same as 23 or say 20 launches of Falcon 9. Now, say that they do 200 launches, so 10 launches of Starship, that means 10 days, 2 weeks, will be the same as a whole year what they launched the previous year before with Falcon 9. So logical that they say we don't use Falcon 9 anymore, and I think they were thinking about a star for the satellites business they have, and it will be so cheap for them, and they will generate, of course, a lot of money from the big money maker is Starlink. So if you look at also the money, Starlink can easily cover all the expenses for the build out of Starship. So that means the launching platforms, the factory, the launches, the fuel, everything is covered. The whole thing that they are making now for R&D is covered by Starlink. Now also for AI, they also can cover everything with the renting out the space. There's a little bit of a gap there. So if they are best, I think they can close the gap. For example, expand the Starship, the satellite business a little bit bigger, save a little bit money on Starship, and you can pay the gap that is in the AI business with that money, the overflow of the money, and you will be positive. You will be positive as a company. That would a normal company do if you have like the stockholders have a say in what to do in the company. But in this case, Elon Musk is the boss, and I think he doesn't go for it. He doesn't interested in positive of the company. He wants to push as fast as possible spaceship, so he will not compromise on financing or holding back spaceship, and he will know AI will do that. He will build out his own AI stuff, and probably this piece of the business will finance itself. So he thinks every piece of the business space has to finance itself. AI will have to finance itself, and what is the other thing they have? Satellite business, whatever. Everything has to finance itself. So, and he is looking to push everything very hard. There was no talk about anything about merging of Tesla and SpaceX, but he said what I said. He wants to be on the moon in 2028. Now, before that, he will do missions, and I said already he has to build a platform for humans. This will be done with Optimus. This has to be done with a robot or something automated that can build the facility, the solar panel farm. He said also heavy loads will go onto the moon. That can only thing that can mean that they want to make fuel and oxygen for the life support on the moon. So I expect that he will build very quickly out a moon base or stuff. That means there's nothing in the finances. I think we can expect in the second half of the year of 2027 that there will be some things that they will reserve for the moon. And I think end of the year they will see something that in low orbit or higher orbit for a shipyard or what is it, a tanking system for trips to the moon or inside the solar system. So I think we will see there some money spent. I think they will build out as crazy on Earth to make more launching places. But if he can do the fast reusable system and that he can launch, lands back and reuse and reuse and reuse, it means he needs less starships and boosters, and he needs less platforms to start and land from. The Abonai thing is that if something goes wrong, it blows up the whole platform and you cannot use it. So he needs to have a backup. Now at Yucca is a backup making. There's a second launching tower. In Florida is also building a second launching tower, but maybe he will make more backups. Maybe he has something that, for example, he builds extra trenches, and maybe he has the stuff to build a tower in a few months, and that he always has a spare. So one blows up, they use the spare, and they assemble one that's already there, and in the meantime they repair the old one, so that it doesn't. If he blows up maybe 2 launch places, he still has the cadence of 1 launch a day. I think that is his goal for building out. So another thing is, if he wants to inspect the shield of the Starship, you cannot. I think he cannot relaunch maybe in a year. After an hour, that it goes to space, comes back, and then after an hour, tanking go up again. I think the shielding has to be checked because it is this new technology. So what they will do is they probably use another Starship. Maybe the booster they can reuse, but maybe they just use 2 towers. So one goes up, they launch the Starship with booster, goes into space, comes back, and then at the other side, another ship is already ready, and that one goes up. Then they remove the ship that was from and the booster that was from space and load it and do it in a special hangar to check it. Then they place a new one there, and then the other one is catch on the same tower again. So what they need only maybe 4 or 5 boosters and 4 or 5 starships. So in total 10. But the production line is made for hundreds of them. So I expect that they probably will first look 4 and 5 and start launching them and use 2 towers or maybe 3 towers to keep this cadence of once an hour in the air. And after that, they have more launching places, and then they have also more starships. They will maybe increase the number of launches or do simultaneous launches from Florida and from Boca Chica, and maybe they will fully use the towers they have. So if they have 4 towers, they will launch every hour or maybe every 2 hours one. So that means they will go launch every 25 minutes. Every 25 minutes, and so then the cadence will become very. What's it say? Once a day? Yeah, once a day. So once a day. I was mistaking. I think it's once an hour. So once a day will be easy. They take a starship, they put it back, and the other starship will be ready, and the next day they launch another one. That's easy. But I think there will be a cadence of 1 hour is also possible. Yeah, you catch them, you move them off. There are probably special machines for that to unload the booster and the starship. The booster will come earlier back than the starship. So that one to change, or maybe it is easier reusable. They just have to tank it, and they just put another starship on top of it, and they launch it while the other starship is still in orbit. Yeah, so you have multiple starships in orbit. Now you can even think if something is wrong, you keep it in space, this starship, and you use it for infrastructure in space, like for a space station or for something you want to build out, and you can use the hull. Or if it's like modular, they're all the same. They can maybe make a modular system. can even imagine if you have a starship, you cut off the top and you cut off the engines. You have only this hull. Now, if you have like 5 or 6 of those hulls, you can build a space station of it. What do you do with those rockets and the backside of rockets and the tanks? You can pull them out, and the nose cone, you can also remove it, and you can just dump them to Earth and let them burn up. Yeah, so you have a nice. You can build this infrastructure out with robots that are controlled by humans in space. So now they have in America drone centers in Nevada that controls all the drones in wartime. You can imagine that they start to build in Boca Chica a big center, a very big center where people are working, and they are controlling robots that are building infrastructure like a shipyard in space or on the moon. So I think this will hope that he will make a sort kind of remote working place for controlling these robots that are building out infrastructure in space and on the moon. So I think that is maybe possible, and he doesn't need. He can do it anywhere. You just need the link, the Starlink to space, and you can probably with the database and AI that is in space, you can probably control. I think humans will still be important to oversee this work in space because it is all new. And if you want to push the time, you need human intervention and human help. So I think this will be a job, or this will be some things that will be maybe in 2027. I think that will be starting these remote jobs. As the robot will be okay. You will see that they will be trained, of course, by Tesla first. And I think that a big portion of those robots will go to SpaceX, and it will be secret what they're doing with it. But I think they will train them first a little bit production. But the main thing is they want to use them for on the moon and in space to build out infrastructure. And I think that is the goal. And also, you can imagine if you have a rocket, you can even crash land them on the moon. And maybe only 5% or 10% of the robots survive, but this 10% can build out the infrastructure, and then the next time more survive, and then it is just you need some robots to start it up, and they can use the wreckage as a source of material they can use to build out a habitat or whatever. And if it is controlled by humans, this whole stuff. It is important. So to make it also possible, you need to have a Starlink satellite constellation around the moon. So you can you have like Wi-Fi or internet all over the moon, so you can control all those robots. So I think also this constellation will be easy. You do shoot some starships there. If they have a cargo and a piece of the cargo of 1 or 2 of the starships that go there has an enormous amount of satellites there. They launch, they put them in space and go back. So maybe there will be a route continuously going to the moon and to the Earth, just putting satellites in orbit around the moon for telecommunications. And maybe they will build the same system in the moon, and then they will go to Mars and build out there a constellation. On the way to Mars, maybe they will build a constellation. So that if they travel to Mars, they will still have contact with Earth or with the moon if they travel. So they have a sort of laser link system all over the solar system. So that will be an endless amount of satellites needed and made it, and they can build them on the moon, or maybe in the beginning for the moon, you can build them on Earth. And after you have your factories on the moon, I think this will be production of satellites that will populate the whole solar system. So that will be the future plan. But my amazing thing is, we are talking now 24 minutes. The amazing thing is the earnings call. They are still behind, but if they can launch every day one rocket, they will catch up. Then before 2030, they will go to I think they will be a little better on track. I also think that after 2028, or maybe next year, AI will be more. He said already, the job of an engineer can be taken over by AI, and he hopes in the future that you have H100, a smaller chip, and that will be the same capability as a SpaceX engineer. So that means if you have like 1,000 or 1,000,000 of those chips, you have 1,000,000 of engineers. Now, that means your technology for improving and doing research for space technology will be increased by a factor of 100. If you now have maybe 1,000 engineers, and you can use 1,000 agents, or maybe 1,000,000 of agents with AI, you will boost your engineers with a factor of 1,000, and I think then your inventions and your improvement of space will increase with unimaginable stops. So now you say, okay, we will do a development of the Raptor engine, and it takes every year or every 6 months we have an improvement. This they will skip. They will go so much faster, maybe 10 times faster. That means if they go 10 times faster, they will have 10 times more efficient rockets. So the thing that will boost the whole development in space will, in the line they have now with the engineers and humans working on this project, is already in 2028 they will reach the moon and they will foot on the moon. But if this AI will help as a tool and maybe take over a lot of engineering job, this can go much faster. Then the limited factor is how fast can you build stuff. And this is what Elon Musk is good at, factories. So those factories first will make 10, maybe one spaceship in a month. But then with the technology he has, he can maybe improve it to maybe 2 weeks or 1 week a spaceship. But with AI, he can make them every hour. Like a car is made, I think he can, with AI help and with robots, he can build every hour a spaceship. Just imagine how much spaceships there is. And every spaceship will generate an amount of money. And with the satellites, so they pay for themselves after maybe 5 or 6 launches, depending on the financial thing. So maybe that's also a point that I have to study about, for how much times a spaceship has to be launched before the costs are out of it, and then also with the fuel. So, and the booster also, how many times you have to launch a booster before it becomes free, if it earns itself back. And the earning is done with the satellites, and the satellites also has to cost money, but the end user will pay for those Wi-Fi and internet and telephone services and other services. So those services all have to finance this whole space project. And if they will become the biggest internet provider in the world, and maybe also one of the biggest telephone providers in the world, I think they have enough money to do this and to build out all the stuff. Then you have AI. So there is not only then that you have an internet connection and a telephone from that works on SpaceX, but also your AI assistants will be from SpaceX. So you see that he's getting the whole picture of communication and AI communication all vertical integrated. So the last step is, I think, the device. Now the big question is, people all thinking, will there be a Tesla phone or a SpaceX phone? The device can be the robot. The device can be the car. The device can be the charging thing or your house itself. You can imagine that you have in your house an AI with an antenna that functioned as a cell phone tower. So everything will be integrated in each other. So he also thought that you have the Starlink antenna, you build a box under it, and it becomes a cell tower. So it is not only Wi-Fi for the user, but also an antenna or a send antenna for phones that are in the neighborhood. So everybody in the future who buys a satellite dish or a Starlink dish, they also automatically expand a phone system that is working on this meshwork. It could be a meshwork, maybe a little bit different as a phone, but the idea is that normal phones you can use to connect to this Starlink antenna box or directly to the satellites, because the countryside and in nature or on the sea or whatever in the air, SpaceX will have a monopoly. They will be the only ones that you can use and it's cheap. But in the city, where there is fiber and where there is cell towers, it will be very difficult because there it is cheaper. But what if a lot of people will have like the robotaxi? The robotaxi will have an antenna. If this antenna also has a small box under it that it can provide with phones, it means that if you have like 1,000 taxis in a city or 100 taxis or 200 taxis in cities, you have 100 small cell towers driving around. And you can, of course, if they are doing nothing, you can keep the whole area covered with these mobile cell towers. Yeah. So you can imagine that if your cars are driving cell towers, and of course the houses that have it in the country are also have these antennas, and you have the houses, the power walls will have this stuff. The Tesla chargers will have this stuff. The cars will have this stuff. Maybe a robot will also have maybe a smaller version. So everywhere where there's a product from Tesla, you can connect with your phone. Now, maybe that's an idea, but is phone needed? You can, if you have a robot always walking next to you, you can ask the phone, can you contact with my with this and this person and do this and this and this? And in the future, maybe people will not talk to other people, but they will talk to their assistant robot that is walking next to them, and the robot and robot communicate with each other and tells what the other people say. So maybe this will be something, or if not, there will be still a device, but the device will not be like a phone as we know it. It will be just like a communicator to communicate. And the most tasks you now do with your phone, to booking or searching, this will all be done by robots or other devices. So this is also a future. But all this is like, you think, oh, this is gigantic. There's so many things you have to do. But if you have an AI and it can replace 1 million engineers, yeah, what he said, if you have an AI and you can make a 1 million 1 million agents with the cat is the 1 million agents with this stuff. So it means your engineering will be unimaginable, and these will be the smartest engineers there are. Now you have maybe only 200 smart engineers, but then you have 1 million smart engineers. Now that is a factor of 50 or more. That means your development and your efficiency improvement and everything you do will be a factor 50 faster. And then the only thing what is keeping it behind is making it. You already before you make it, you already have the next version. So you have to stop the factory. Oh, we have a next version, and you try to tool up the factory to make the next version. But then already it is the next version. So this is also a problem. Maybe everything will be 3D printed. That you have factories 3D printed everything, so that if there's a new version, so you can imagine in the beginning of the week you have version 1, end of the week you have version 2, and 3 weeks later you have already version 12 or something, and maybe they skip 4 or 5 versions. So this will be the future. So it will go so fast, and your factories also have to be able to retool or have to be flexible in building stuff, because your iteration will be much faster. So that's also the box system what he has now. First he had this for this Tesla system. He had this line, and he now splits it up in boxes. And I think everything he has to do with boxes, because maybe a box will be updated because of a new engineering trick or improvement, and another box will the next week or the next day will be upgraded. So if he splits it all in small boxes and maybe 3D printers or whatever, this is the best way to have a flexible factory. In the future, factories, I think, can build anything. You just say to the AI, I want to have a car. It builds a car, and then say, okay, I want to have a tractor. It can build a tractor. It cannot build a phone, but if you have a factory that can make vehicles with wheels and with AI, it can build any vehicle, from a van to a semiconductor thing to a farming vehicles. All vehicles this factory can make. If you have like a phone or a tablet or a computer factory, it can build all of it. So it can one day create phones, the next day it makes laptops, and the next day it makes desktops, and the next day it makes maybe pieces for robots that we'll use. So you will have factories that can make a specific series of products. And So I think this is the way you have to build factories, because your design and your improvement will go so fast that your physical creating of the product will be lagging behind. Get this? So so your factories has to be very flexible, and I think there will be also skipping. So if you have a new rocket engine, and they think, okay, we want to build this rocket engine, and they have the factory done, they're already three versions further. They built the wrong factory for the product. So this also you have to think really how to avoid it. And AI will give an answer for this, how to do this. Yeah, you will always be lagging behind on production on what is the newest design, but that is shown out. That is, you cannot help that. But you will skip some steps, and you will build at least after a while the best product you have the most advantage of. So I'm talking now 35 minutes. So I think if you look at the talk, it is super. Everything that the dream, what Elon Musk was saying, Shotwell and the financial guy confirmed. So it was not nonsense. There were some things about when he was talking about the moon and mass accelerators and launches that was a little bit out there. But okay, that is Elon Musk. But the main thing, the launch cadence, the profitability, the financial stuff, the moon, puts on the moon, all other things, human grade stuff, is all confirmed by other persons than Elon Musk. That is not what you see with Tesla. So I think this will work. And I think Shotwell is a very good presenter. The stock went down. It is, let me look, it's still down, of course. It's down 7%. That's a mistake. That is the only thing I can think. Okay, people don't understand really what is going on, maybe. But it is the same when yesterday it went up 9%. Now it is in the aftermarket 7% down. So if it goes up, maybe it stays the same. It will go up in the pre-market, and maybe there is no loss. And I think it will climb back slowly to the IPO price. Then we have in 2 days the release of a new piece of people that can sell and trade with it. So I think we will still have a roller coaster in the price. But maybe if people see this that work, the people that worked for SpaceX sees this, and they think, wait, and they can what this means, and they know this is just the beginning. It is perfect. They double. They go IPO, and they have the best quarter ever. So I think every quarter will be better and better and better. And then, of course, AI will help, and then the quarters will go crazy. Then people think, what is this for a company? And this is probably what the ex-employees or the employees from SpaceX already understand. So they will not sell. They will loan against the cover they have, or maybe if they have a house and they sell some. But I think most of the people will keep. And I think also big investors in pension funds, they will know that they will say, this is not good, and sell your stock, but they will buy it. So I think the stock will go, I hope it will go up, but we don't know. The sentiment of people, we don't know. We also don't know what's going on. But this earnings call is better than I expected. Some things was a little bit different, but if you add everything minus and plus, it is 50% better than I expected. So now it is the only execution. So we will see the execution in a few months already, if they can catch the ship. And then if the booster gets better and better, if they can catch the booster, then we have to see if the second tower, that will be the second tower in Boca Chica, and maybe the tower at Florida, if they get operational and if they start to launch from there. I hope that we see that at the beginning of 2027. And then we have to see if they can up the cadence, and if this human grade okay. We see maybe the docking between the Orion and the spaceship, Starship, and we see maybe the tanking. Now, if the tanking is done and the connection is done, it means the moon mission is possible. Probably they will first crash some spaceships on the moon, but if they have with robots, maybe they can already, it will be not a failure, but it will be a success if they crash it. If some surviving robots are there and they can still control them, they can rebuild and clean up the mess and build a base there with the survivors of the robots. It would be a nice story. So it all looks positive. The only thing, I don't mind that the stock is low because there's a chance to buy. I don't have money to buy it, but if I have some money, with other stock will goes up and this stays down, I will buy more of this stuff. This is my opinion. Don't follow me. Have your own idea, do your own research, and look into it yourself. Uh, People will think, how's it Tesla and SpaceX? Now, I think I wait until I will let this stuff merge with uh, with uh, with SpaceX. So I don't sell my Tesla to buy SpaceX. This has also to do with my the situation how I bought the Kabe. It has to do with a saving program here in Japan that's called NISA. So if I pull it out, I cannot pull it in, and it's tax free. So I just keep it as it is, but Tesla stock as it is. This will change by the merger into SpaceX, and that means that this amount that I have now, I don't have to pull out and put in because I only have a limited amount that I can pull in. So that's why I don't pull it out and put it in, because that will be half my amount that I can save tax free. So I have to keep it as it is. Uh, Other stuff, other stock I have, I can maybe cash out if it is profitable or near profitable, and I put it into SpaceX or Tesla, whatever. But so that I can make advantage of this jump. Will it be the fastest growing company in the world? Probably it could be. It's all depending on whatever. But this is all you have to decide yourself. You have to decide yourself. Do I invest in memory? He said memory will grow crazy. So that is a hint already from him that what is nice to invest in. Chips, he bought maybe all of them from Nvidia, but Nvidia doesn't move. AMD went down, but if all Nvidia chips are sold, what can you buy? Only AMD. So AMD will also go up. So all this AI market is still pushing up and up and up, especially if there is an unlimited space in space out there. And there's one person that wants to buy it all to put it in space. That means on Earth, the rest will, even the second tier or third tier or fourth tier will still be in demand and maybe in shortage. So I think the whole the whole stuff to power intelligence will still be in at least for 1 or 2 years a growing market. It will go up. It will be analysts will doubt if this is a bubble or not a bubble, but they will every time will be proven wrong, and it will go up and up and up and up until we don't know. But I think there is no until, because I think intelligence is always more needed. So I think it is an endless Tam. It is an endless chart that goes up, only up and up and up. That's my talk. So I think the earnings call is okay. The reaction, is expected because it went yesterday up 9%, and now it goes 9% down. So effectively nothing happened as expected. The expectation was okay. It was a little less than expected, but the result is the same. It is still undervalued. We have to look what the effects are if stock comes tradable. And I think most of the people that in the beginning will understand, and the next earnings will also, they will make the picture more clearer that it is a profitable company and they're still growing and growing and growing. So people will be 2 times thinking to sell the stock, as they know this is just the beginning of the whole space race and the whole thing on the moon and databases in space and AI growth. So if this is just the start, or this is the point where it accelerates into something that is much bigger, people will hold the stock. I hope they are so smart. If not, that is their decision, and we don't know. Maybe they are with pension and they need the money for pension, or they need to buy a house, or they have loans to pay off. If they have some investors, they invested money and they have to pay off. We don't know the situations exactly, but at the end, in 10 years, if they have boots on the moon and boots on Mars, this company will be worth more than it is now, and the stock price will be higher than now. I think that is something you can assume if you believe this is possible. So it's all up to you. But I think this is a chance to step into a stock that has a future. Other stocks maybe do better. Sometimes you think, okay, you wait years and years for a stock to go up. It doesn't go up, and other stocks went up like already 5 times, and then you go out, and then that stock will go up, and you miss it again. So that is always the problem with investment. But that's something you have to learn. So you keep your long breath, and you make your own decisions. It is like FX. You make a plan, you execute. If the plan change or the situation plans, you have to change your plans. That is the important thing. So if something goes wrong with Starship or Elon Musk dies or whatever, you change your plan, you look again, this is a good thing to hold, yes or no, and you make the decision. I think my cat wants to go use the toilet. I close the toilet. So this will be the end of this talk. Where is the end button? I see end stream there. Maybe I do another talk today about something else. You can see that the cat wants to go out. So see you.